Welcome back to College Football Game Night Live.
Well, it hasn't been the easiest season for the Southern Oregon Raiders football program this year. The injuries piling up from the team out of the gun, and then the Raiders also showing some of that fight down the stretch. Today, all the way in Caldwell, Idaho, facing the College of Idaho, who already punched their ticket to the postseason. But this game, potentially a chance for revenge for the Raiders, who saw their playoff hopes dashed just a season ago on the same field by the Yotes. So pride on the line in this game for Burke Brown and the boys. Raiders, though, already down after a fumble and a Yotes field goal in the first quarter, and it only gets worse. Don Montiel's pass picked off by the Yotes, and you know where it's going. All the way back on the flip to Sean Swafford. Puts the College of Idaho up 10-0 early, and the Raiders needing to respond. Logan Whitlock just can't hang on. The Yotes jump on the ball, and it's great field position for the C of I. However, the Raiders force a fourth down, and the D completes the goal line stand. They get the job done, and then the Raiders offense getting going exactly when it needed to at the right moment at the right time. Don Montiel finds Donovan Glutter for the tutty. Ensuing Yotes possession, Caden Young goes over the middle. The defense for the Raiders doing some work. Spencer Cuffle comes up with the second turnover of the half. And then later in the second, the Raiders just inside Yote territory. Montiel launches it to his number one option. It's Brandon Barthel, hauls it into the end of the end zone. And the Raiders find some life on the road to go up 14-10. The big story for both of these teams, how about the defense's abilities to force turnovers? Don Montiel and Caden Young both give up the ball twice through the air. Young also, of course, losing the fumble that Spencer Cuffle forced. And speaking of which, in the first half, how about a day for Cuffle? 5 total tackles, a forced fumble, a fumble recovery, and an interception. It doesn't get much better than that. Montiel does get the couple of touchdowns to Barthel and Glover and gives the Raiders the lead. But can they hold on to it in the second half? They couldn't do it 2 weeks ago. Can they do it today? Raiders' first drive out of the gate stalls, but the defense keeping that momentum from the first half going. It's Mystic Sampaga forcing the fumble, and guess who's there for the pickup? It's Cuffle again. The Raiders offense then stalling, and the defense once again making up for it. Alki Grace picks off Young. And how about that? The Raiders on offense now trying to get the life for them. A tale as old as time at this point as Montiel finds Barthel for the 80-yard tutty. The Raiders go up 21-10 late in the third quarter with a chance to shut out the Yotes, but in the fourth, here comes the College of Idaho. Young hits Caden Freeze in the close corner for the 6-yard touchdown, and then the next Yotes possession, Riley Byantine punches it in from 1 yard out. Less than a minute to go. Raiders now down by 3. They have to convert on 4th and 10. Montiel scrambling, looking, and falling incomplete, and that would be the final ball game score. The Raiders once again have a lead late against a ranked opponent in the final minutes of the fourth quarter and can't hold on to it. Brandon Barthel balls out in his last game as a Raider with 7 catches, 165 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Spencer Cuffle with that unbelievable first half, also ending his Raider career strong. Well, this year may have been rough for the Raiders. If the last 4 to 5 weeks of the season are a sign of what's to come, this SOU squad could be potentially very dangerous heading into next season. So while the college football season officially comes to an end for the SOU Raiders and for several of our local football teams on the gridiron, though, the push to a state title is still very much in full swing. With the quarterfinals coming to a close earlier today, there are plenty of games that have been incredible to watch in the last 24 hours. But there was one game in particular that was maybe greater than the rest, and that was last night at Thurston High School. A rematch in the postseason, 7 years in the making. Prayers at an all-time high between Churchill and Thurston football in an instant classic. First quarter, Lancers already up by a touchdown. It's Emmett DiStefano on the move, firing to Bodie Bernard, the toe tap. The touchdown is good, and the Colts strike back. But so does Churchill. Lucas Ganson, the teardrop on the pass back to TJ Wright, right in the pocket it goes. Lancers go up 14-6. These two in sync all night long. Next Lancer drive, it's Ganson taking it in from a few yards out. 3 touchdowns in the first half by the senior. Churchill looking like they're about to rout Thurston, but in the final seconds of the half, DiStefano rolling, deep heave, end zone. Bodie Bernard, the highlight reel catch to end the half. The Colt faithful finding renewed life. Opening act of the second half, DiStefano back to work, finds Caleb Jones, the trusty tight end, He does the rest of the work, folks. Thurston pulls ahead after the touchdown and a field goal, but Churchill immediately responding. Lucas Ganson, the heave, the prayer, it's who else? TJ Wright. The Lancers are back in front with a quarter to go. Final minutes of the fourth. The Churchill faithful on its feet. The handoff to Wright, and Wright with the night block out blow. The Lancer program never giving up. It's what it's all about. Churchill is moving on to the semifinals, a special moment for this program.
Man, I'm never going to forget this. This is just unreal. That's just all I can say. It's unreal. After that Thurston loss, I had a fire lit on me. I never really expected it to be to us make it this far, and it's just unreal.
I'm proud of my kids, how hard they've worked. I know lots of kids work hard out there, but these guys have really dug in these last few weeks and just, they just keep striving, keep fighting.
Five Churchills, we are the Lancers!
All right, we've got some new score updates as well from you across the state. Lowell falls to number 1 Heppner in 2A. Number 2 Lost River takes down Myrtle Point 30-20. Cross Point Christian hangs on to defeat on Elgin 22-20. And Bandon takes care of Culver 34-30. Elkton wins a close one in 1A over Joseph. And Sherman upsets Eddyville Charter 26-19. Well, the countdown to the end of the regular season is officially on with 2 weeks left to go. What's left for Oregon and Oregon State football on the turf? We're going to break it all down next.